It's a great new job. Trump's administration is the best administration ever due to one reason. It is filled with the most loyal people who want to serve this country and who will do anything possible to please the American citizens. PAC supports Trump fiercely. That is why they hired one of the most loyal people that served Trump. Trump's former campaign manager is their new spokesman. On Thursday it was officially announced that Corey Lewandowski will join the Super PAC as a senior advisor and spokesman. Daily Caller reminds us that Lewandowski has maintained close ties to Trump since being fired from the campaign last June. He has been seen visiting the White House and traveled with Trump on Air Force One last month. There had been some speculation that Lewandowski would join the White House in some capacity, but those plans never materialized. Now, he will join other Trump supporters in an attempt to advance the Republicans' legislative agenda. The group most recently went after Republican Nevada Senator Dean Heller over his opposition to the repeal of Obamacare. We're thrilled to add Corey R. Lewandowski to our growing roster of experienced professionals who have been in the trenches on hard-won political campaigns, America First Action President Brian Walsh said in a statement. His spirit, dedication to the president, and policy prowess will make him an invaluable addition to our team. Lewandowski has floated from gig to gig since leaving the Trump campaign. After the election, he formed a lobbying firm called Avenue Strategies. He has since left the firm and now runs Lewandowski Strategic Advisors, LLC, a consulting firm. He was also recently fired by the TV network One American News Network, reportedly because he was spending too much time on Fox News. It is a great honor to join the team at America First Action, Lewandowski said in a statement. I look forward to working side by side with these talented individuals to help advance the Trump agenda and elect people who support making America great again. We definitely need more people like him in order to win the war that lefties started. President Trump is blessed to have a friend and supporter like Lewandowski. This strategist has a sharp and positive mind. Congratulations, we wish you the best. Just in Gettysburg stands with Trump on all battlefield monuments. Gettysburg National Military Park has taken a stand for history. It's awesome. The head officials made a statement Wednesday that the monuments and statues at the very large battlefield in Pennsylvania will stay. This is despite all of the pressure from the lunatic left. These statues enshrine our history. This is nice. These memorials, erected predominantly in the early and mid-20th century, are an important part of the cultural landscape, battlefield spokeswoman Katie Lawhon told the Hanover Evening Sunday. Advertisement. Gettysburg was the location of the most brutal and bloodiest battle in the Civil War. It occurred from July 1 to 3 in 1863. The park has amassed more than 1,300 memorials at the park. The sizes started from very small markers for small regiments to the gigantic Pennsylvania State Monument that hold a visiting center for tourists. The park also has several streets named after soldiers on both sides, including the Union's Daniel Sickles and Winfield Scott Hancock, and the Confederacy's Ambrose Wright. Advertisement. The National Park Service's policy on battlefield monuments states that the feds are committed to safeguarding these unique and site-specific memorials in perpetuity, while simultaneously interpreting holistically and objectively the actions they commemorate. In Richmond, VA, a candidate for governor named Ralph Northam has said he will ensure to help destroy the history of the Virginia Capitol and will press to make sure monuments on Monument Avenue will be removed. However, Northam said he would defer to the city on how to proceed in doing so, according to the Richmond Post-Dispatch. Democratic Mayor Lever Stoney said a commission established to add context next to the monuments is preferable to taking them down, the paper said. What do you think of Gettysburg putting those whiny liberals in their place? Should Virginia make sure McAuliffe and Northam be kicked out of the state for being embarrassments to Virginia? NAACP leader stuns every liberal in America, admits Trump's right. One of the leaders in the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, NAACP, just stunned liberal America and admitted Trump is right about the whole Confederate statue issue. They are part of our history, and not all history is pretty or agreeable to everyone. Advertisement: if we actually taught our children history, not only we would not have this to deal with, the NFL players would not be taking a knee during the national anthem. Those who forget their history are doomed to repeat it. If local governments of the federal government wants to remove them, that is their right. But to try to make this an issue when the real issue is race and how we need to treat each other better no matter who you are. Advertisement: and one of the leaders of the NAACP came out and rebuked the liberals and agreed with Trump, and it's got a sting. She is not supporting Trump, not on your life, but she is honest enough to admit the liberals are wrong in this issue. And that in their hysteria people stop listening to them. That they are falling into the trap they always fall into when they consumed by phony outrage and a manufactured issue is entirely predictable, as it is sad. When a topic that deserves debate, serious debate, because there are always two sides to every issue like immigration, they ruin their credibility with their hysteria. According to the Daily Caller, local NAACP chapter president Esther Lee came out and agreed with Trump on this distraction of an issue. "I think it's all senseless. All senseless," Lee said. "You know, we're 108 years in as Nakbers and we might think things would improve, but they do not. You know, we still have this factor about black and white. Correct, we have come a long way, but we have miles to go yet." She reflected on the statue controversy, saying, "You know, that's history. That was in that point in time. You can't eliminate what history is. So I disapprove with young people local pulling down those statues." Lee then put everything in perspective, and if the Democrats are smart they will listen. A young woman died. 2 officers were murdered in a plane crash, and all for what? Because somebody in their mind decided, we don't need to look at that anymore. It shouldn't be. Correct. It shouldn't be, and the debate should not how we treat statues but how we treat each other. Something Trump knows and it seems the Democrats do not. Bill Gates just admitted that Trump is right and issued major warning. We all are still in shock of the situation that is happening in Barcelona. Major lives ended due to a single terrorist attack. This is a clear proof of how the world, not only America, is having issues with immigrants. They became a global problem that requires drastic sanctions. Some of them are terrorists and religious fanatics. Attacks like this one today proves how they are not innocent at all. They are not seeking a better place to live. They are only seeking a better place to bomb due to their sick beliefs. You Conservative reports that Bill Gates understands the severity of this problem, and that's why he warned Americans about the possible chaos that could happen if immigrants keep coming to our country. The Microsoft founder showed his support for President Trump's ban. According to Gates, Europe is already overwhelmed by immigrants and they are trying to put an end to the migration problem. What Gates suggested was that world leaders should make it difficult for migrants to reach Europe. This will help all the countries to put an end to all the immigrants entering the countries on a daily basis. Gates spoke about the problem Angela Merkel caused. He said, "On the one hand, you want to demonstrate generosity and take in refugees, but the more generous you are, the more word gets around about this, which in turn motivates more people to leave Africa. Germany cannot possibly take in the huge, massive number of people who are wanting to make their way to Europe. This is exactly why the leaders need to start listening to Trump. This is why they need to issue their own travel ban. Europe must secure their borders day and night in order to avoid a similar scenario like the one that happened today. Innocent people suffer because of someone's sick mind. Let's all hope that soon this problem will be solved." Martin Luther King's niece crushes every liberal who dared call Trump racist. Ever since Donald Trump won the elections, he's been attacked by the liberals. They still can't accept the fact that he won, so they labeled him as racist, homophobic and pedophile. Dr. Alveda King, who is the niece of Martin Luther King Jr., appeared Fox and Friends and defended President Trump. Many Black Americans think that Trump is racist and she blames the liberals for that. "Yes, I'm right," reports. King also reminded viewers that although she personally voted for Donald Trump, she had no quarrel with those who voted for Clinton as long as they didn't spread violence. which is an example of the position the prominent African Americans on the left should start taking. When violence erupted in Charlottesville over the weekend, Trump first checked the facts and then released statements about the incident. Although he blamed both sides, he was still called a racist. King has always supported President Trump's supporter and defended him when needed. She's also a true patriot who stands up against the mainstream media, and Trump thinks she's incredible. Yes, I'm right, reports. This idea of Donald Trump being a racist comes from the fake news media, who have told one lie after another, in an attempt to paint Donald Trump as a racist. In many cases, most of America saw through the liberal media nonsense. However, many Americans believe the fake news stories, and have incorrectly branded President Trump as a racist. Trump even condemned racism at the inauguration, but it appears that nobody remembers that. King believes that Black Americans think negative of President Trump because of the fake news from the mainstream media. President Trump praised King at the National Museum of African American History and Culture. He said that she's a fighter of justice, and he also thanked her for saying the nice things about him. This proves that liberals will say anything to show President Trump in a negative light to the public. However, there are many people that support the president, such as King. Ted Nugent shows Trump the easy way to publicly humiliate a Hollywood liberal. Rock musician and conservative commentator Ted Nugent had some brutal words for singer David Crosby. Crosby called out Nugent for being not good enough to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. During an appearance on the Fox News Specialists, on Wednesday, Nugent called Crosby's criticism a badge of honor and hurled several other insults at him as well. Advertisement: with all due respect to David Crosby, if any is due, here's a bloated carcass that has abused his body all his life. He is a repository for every drug and chemical known to man. And if he doesn't have that much respect or soul, then his criticism of me is a badge of honor. He can kiss my A. Crosby and Nugent's feud began because Ted Nugent told a radio host in Albany that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame didn't induct him because he is a conservative. Seems reasonable enough. He specifically referred to Rolling Stone co-founder Ian Winner. Winner is a very overt liberal and hates the Second Amendment. She is also a part of choosing the inductees. I'm on the board of the directors of the NRA, National Rifle Association, Nugent said last week. Jan Winner hates the Second Amendment, so that's the only reason I'm not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Advertisement: when questioned on Twitter about Nugent's claim, Crosby dubbed Nugent as an a-hole and said that it was Nugent's lack of talent that stopped him from entering the Hall of Fame. When Fox News host Ebony Williams asked Nugent whether he would be in the Hall of Fame if he were a liberal, Nugent said he would be too stupid to carry on a conversation if that were the case. What do you think?